There's nothing in this mug. Hey, howdy, hey, welcome to Nate Talks. My name is Nate. Now, right off the bat, you may notice that there's something a little bit odd about what's happening in this general region, which is that there are some things on the couch behind me that don't look like they should be on the couch behind me. They look like they should be on the wall behind me. If you notice that, A+ for being observant. You may have noticed these on the wall in my last video, and the reason that I have taken them down is this. In my last video, I asked you guys for some ideas for videos that I could make in the future, because I do not have very many ideas. You guys came through with some great ideas, and I really appreciate it, and I hope you keep them coming. One such idea came from a Caroline Keller, who suggested that I talk a little bit about the pictures that were on the wall behind me. And so that is what I am gonna do. And thank you so much, Caroline, for your suggestion. This is actually gonna be 2 videos instead of 1, because as I was making this, I realized that everything that I wanna say about these things would stretch too long, and I wanna keep these videos fairly bite-sized, I think. Why are my hands way up here? Who knows? Not me. So in this first video, part 1, I'm gonna talk about where the idea for these art pieces came from, and I'm also gonna talk about how I made them. And then in the second video, I will talk about why I picked each of the quotes that you see written on the... I don't know why I tried to like tap each one. That's a bad call. It was a bad call because one of them was directly behind me. That video is going to be a little bit more in depth about each piece, but for now, let's talk about where the idea for this little art project came from. The art that I have on the wall in my living room came from a conversation that I had with my friend Becca about how bare my apartment was. Honestly, still is. I have these pieces of art in my living room, and that is it. I was telling Becca that it really kind of looks like I just moved into my apartment, despite the fact that I've lived here for 3.5 years, and that is because I am bad at decorating. So in that conversation with my friend Becca, the idea materialized. I don't remember which one of us had the idea, but the idea materialized for me to make 3 pieces of art, each one showcasing a quote from a book series that has meant a lot to me in my life. Those 3 series, which will not be a surprise to anyone who knows me at all, are the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, the Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. By the way, since I mentioned my friend Becca, I also want to let you know that Becca has a podcast where she talks about art and being an artist. That podcast is called Coffee and Creatives, and she hosts it with her sister Noelle and their friend Anna. There are only 7 episodes right now, so it's a great time to jump in, and I highly recommend that you do. It's a super interesting and insightful podcast, and I put a link to it in the description, so if you want to listen to it, then you can very easily do that. So that conversation with Becca is where the idea came from, and now I'm going to talk about how I actually made the things. I will use this one as an example. I realized that you can see a reflection of my laptop screen in the plastic here, and I'm going to politely ask you to ignore that because I can't do anything about it. So for each one of these pieces, I took a piece of poster board and I cut it to the size of the frame that I knew I was going to use. Now, if you really, really love books, what I'm about to say may upset you. And the thing that may upset you is that for the background of each of these, I actually tore pages out of the books that the quotes are from. So like this background is made of pages from the Fellowship of the Ring. I cut the pages so that like the outside margins are not visible, and I just used Mod Podge to glue them down to the poster board. And if it bothers you that I tore up books like that, sorry? I'm not that sorry. I like how it looks. Each piece has a silhouette on it that I used just black acrylic paint for. Each silhouette is just an image that is relevant somehow to the quote or the book. On top of the black acrylic paint, I just did the words using like a white paint pen. Everything that went into this was pretty simple, and it did not take a super long time if you cut out the time that it took for things to dry. So if you're looking for like a fun arts and crafts project to occupy your time while you're not allowed to leave the house, this is something that you could honestly probably make, if you don't mind tearing pages out of books. Okay, that concludes part 1 of this little chat about my wall art. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that when I post part 2, you'll go watch that as well. If you want to be notified when I post that video, I have great news for you, which is that you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and then press the little bell button that is somewhere in the region below this video, and you'll get a notification when I post a new video. Thanks so much again for watching, and again, thanks so much to Caroline for the video idea. I hope all of you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.